Welcome to the video lecture series of digital image processing. Today's topic is compression algorithm and its types. In today's lecture, you have to study how many kinds of compression algorithm exist. In the previous lectures, you have studied about the concept of image compression, why compression is required in the case of image processing, what are the metrics which are used to represent the compression measures. So you are aware with all of these factors. So by assuming all these factors are clear to you, we can proceed for this video lecture. Let us begin. Compression algorithms and its type. What is the role of compression algorithm? The role of compression algorithm is to reduce the source data to a compressed data form and at the receiving and decompress it to get the original data. You have studied in the case of the compression model, first compression algorithm have been applied at the sender side, then at the receiver side decompression algorithms have been applied. It means compression algorithm should have an idea about the symbols which are required to be coded and what are their probability distribution. Any compression algorithms has two major components. First is modeler and second is coder. These are two important components. What is modeler? Here the purpose of modeler, it is used to condition the image data for compression by using the knowledge of the available data, and this modeler can be present in both sender and receiver. Next point is very important. Modeler can be either static or dynamic. Means what do you mean by this static? Static means models at the sender and receiver sides do not change. They are fixed. While in case of dynamic, the models change depending upon the data during the compression and decompression process. So in dynamic condition, models change depending upon the change of data during compression and decompression. So static and dynamic models, these two terms are also important. Second is the coder. Second component of this compression algorithm, which is coder. So here sender side coder is known as encoder, while receiver side coder is known as decoder, and this codes the symbols independently or by using the models. So decoder decodes the message from the compressed data, which is actually the function of the decoder which is available at the receiver side. So this is how you can understand the two major components which are involved in any image compression algorithm. If the models at the sender and receiver are same, see here modelers. So if the models at the sender and receiver sides are same, then compression scheme is symmetric. Symmetric scheme if models at sender and receiver side are same. Otherwise, Otherwise, the compression scheme will be asymmetric. This is the first case, symmetric if both the models are same. Otherwise, it is asymmetric. Now, the compression algorithms. Compression algorithms can be broadly categorized into two categories. First is the lossless compression, second is the lossy compression. From the name itself, it must be clear to you what is lossless, where there is no loss of information. What is lossy, where certain information may be lost. So in case of lossless compression, reconstructed data is identical to the original data, means exactly the same, no loss of information. And this type of algorithm is very useful in legal and medical domains. In legal and medical domain. See, you can understand there is no loss of information can be tolerated in the case of the medical domains. The exact information, exact data of any particular person must be observed by the doctor, then only it is of the helpful. And some of the examples of the lossless compressions are Huffman coding, arithmetic coding, Shannon-Fano coding. Some of the codings you have already studied and some you are going to study in the coming lectures. Lossy compression here compress the data with certain amount of error. That is what that amount of error is acceptable to the human observer. It means you can say that reconstructed data is an approximation to the original data, because human visual system has many defects like color blindness. So in such cases, in some of the cases, loss of information is either not noticed by the human operators or human observers, or the errors are acceptable up to a certain limit. And this type of algorithms is very useful in applications like broadcast, television and multimedia. Broadcast, television and multimedia. Some of the examples of lossy compression techniques are linear prediction and transform coding. Let us discuss some of the difference between lossless and lossy. You can explain some of the basic difference very well. Lossless compression is reversible process, while lossy is non-reversible. See, reversible means the exact original information can be reconstructed back. In lossless, no information is lost, while in case of lossy, some information may be lost. In lossless compression, compression ratio is less, while in lossy compression, compression ratio is very high. Lossless compression is used for that data which human can handle directly, like text data. But lossy compression is used for diffuse data, and diffuse data is not being understood by human very quickly, or humans cannot interpret it accurately. Lossless compression is independent of psychovisual system, while lossy compression is dependent on psychovisual system. So these are actually all the important points. Based on this, you can differentiate the lossless and lossy compression. There is one more way of classifying image compression algorithms, and this image compression algorithms classify it into 4 categories: entropy coding, predictive coding, transform coding and layered coding. So let us discuss each and every type of this coding in detail. So first is the entropy coding. What is the logic behind this entropy coding is, if pixels are not uniformly distributed, then Approximate coding schemes can be selected which can encode the information so that average number of bits is less in the case of the entropy, and you are aware with the term entropy means average information in an image is known as entropy. Coding is based on the entropy of the source and on the possibility of occurrence of symbols. Like if you are saying, you must have solved so many questions. If you are like tossing a dice, so what is the probability of getting like which number? If you are tossing a coin, so what is the probability of getting head or tail accordingly? So here an event which is less likely to occur is said to contain more information in comparison to the event which is more likely to occur. If we talk about this set of symbols, let us say S is what? S1 to Sn. Here n is the number of symbols in the alphabet. If their related probability distribution of the symbols, the probability of symbol S1 is P1, probability of symbol S2 is P2. So according to Shannon's, the entropy of an information source can be defined as what? Entropy of this information source, it can be written as H of, this is equal to what? Summation of all terms minus pi log pi. You must remember here the base of log is 2. You must have solved so many numerical questions in digital communication based on the information theory. So you must remember this formula as well. Next is the predictive coding. What is predictive coding? The idea is to remove the mutual dependency between the successive pixels. This is the idea of the predictive coding. Mutual dependency. Normally the samples would be very large, but if you take the difference between the samples, that will be relatively small. Let us take an example to discuss it in detail. Suppose we are saying that we have certain pixels values which range from like 400, then next is what 405, then we say 420, 430. If these are the pixels which needs to be transmitted, now let us take the difference of these. What would be the difference between the adjacent pixels? Here you can see the difference is 5. Now in between these two, difference is what? 15. In between these two, the difference is 10. So what you can observe over here, the difference in pixels is less than the original one. Obviously the difference is 5, 15, 10, while the original pixels are 400, 405, 420, 430. It means to express difference, less number of bits are required. Therefore, it makes sense to encode the difference rather than the original one. But this type of approach does not work effectively for rapidly changing data. Like if you take another example, if we say the data set is 300, 4096, then say 120, and again 5081, and let us say 10. If this type of data set exists, see, there is a frequent variation in the difference of pixels. So this particular predictive coding approach doesn't work good for this kind of sample data. Got it? And this predictive coding technique can be very effectively applied for differential pulse code modulation and delta modulation techniques. Moving ahead, let us discuss third type of coding, which is the transform coding. What is this transform coding? Objective is to exploit the information packing capability of the system. Note down the important point. Here energy is packed into fewer components and only these components are encoded and transmitted. See, human eye is more sensitive to the lower spatial frequencies than the higher spatial frequencies. So the idea is to remove the redundant high frequency components to create compression, because human eye is sensitive to the lower frequencies. So let us deal with that one. And removal of these higher frequency components leads to loss of information. Some of the information may be lost, error may exist, but it depends how much error is being acceptable for the system. So this loss of information, if tolerable, as I am telling you for the error, if it is tolerable, this particular type of coding can be used for imaging and video applications. Therefore, the basis for transform coding is what? The basis is frequency selection, obviously by removing higher frequency components, and another basis is information packing, and what is the concept of basic images. This is all about the transform coding. Next is the layered coding. Layered coding is very useful in case of layered images. Sometimes the image is represented in the form of the layers. Data structure like pyramids are useful to represent an image in multi-resolution form. The layers of pyramid would be sent depending upon the applications, and sometimes these images are segmented as foreground and background, and based on the application requirement, coding can be done. Layered coding is also in the form of selected frequency coefficient or selected bits of the pixels. It is not mandatory that this particular kind of operation is being applied on the entire image. So on certain frequency coefficients or on selected bits of pixels, this particular coding can be done, can be applied. Topic for the next video lecture is types of redundancy. Thank you so much for watching this video.